Today, I am excited to introduce you to Vickie. She's the founder and chief officer at Alive, Fit and Free. But before we get started, I'm Justine McKell, and this is our brand new Wellness Growth podcast brought to you by our new agency, Fem Forward AI. We specialize in helping health and wellness businesses scale their revenue over 12 months. So if you want to take your health and wellness business to the next level, make sure you stick around for future episodes. We have some wonderful advice from leaders in their field, including Vickie. She is the founder and chief fitness officer at Alive, Fit and Free. It's a community for women over 50. Have I got everything right? Is there anything else I should include there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we work with men too. We basically work with seniors, and we set out to redefine what it means to be a modern senior, because we did not like the way seniors were being treated or marketed to, or take a seat in that chair over there, honey. It's kind of like that's not really who we are anymore. So, yeah. So we work with all ages, honestly, but mostly our focus is on seniors. And we have some specialty programs from our program called Energy Up. We created 2 specialty programs, one for Parkinson's patients and their caregivers, and one for dementia and Alzheimer's patients and caregivers.
Yeah, that sounds
amazing. Thank you. Yeah, super cool. And we also do adventure travel, and we lead cruises and groups because we feel like anything that we can do to engage the mind and the body and keep us young and active is working towards longevity. So big focus on brain health and just living life to the fullest, no matter what age or ability we are.
Yeah. And so what first pulled you towards focusing on fitness and movement for the over 50 market?
Well, I had been in fitness and natural health since I was in my 20s, and I got into that, honestly, because I was diagnosed with cervical cancer at the age of 25. And I chose to heal myself naturally. And through that process, I became very passionate about helping others get well naturally. And that spurred me into fitness and nutrition and life coaching and just learning anything and everything I could. But fast forward to about 2017, I had an opportunity to work at a senior living center teaching line dance. And I went in and just absolutely fell in love with the residents and thought, well, isn't this so much fun? So one class turned into about 5. And I just made flyers, and every time I would see a senior living facility that I drove by, I would stop and hand flyers out. And pretty soon I had about 20 classes a week, and I started hiring a team of people to work with me. My daughter came on as my business partner. She lives internationally. So we had a goal of launching virtually. Well, of course, COVID happened, so we launched virtually. And we started offering about 60 classes a month to our senior living communities, seniors online that were aging at home, and it just blossomed from there. So we offered anything, everything we could think of to keep them engaged and active. We had tour guides from all over the world leading us around their country live during COVID, and so as soon as COVID ended, of course, everybody wanted to go back on site again. So we again flipped the switch and went back on site. But as I began working with the seniors, all of a sudden it dawned on me, I was one. It's like, but 60 was when I started working with them. Now, granted, most of the people on the senior living facilities were quite a bit older than I was, but, I had such a heart for them and became such an advocate for them. And I would learn new techniques. I always loved to learn what works and what doesn't work, and then I'll try it out. And I would take what I was learning to my people, and I was amazed at some of the results I started getting. So I became super passionate about researching more and finding ways that we could work not just on the body, but what I call the 4 pillars of health: mental, emotional, physical, and energetic. So I really put together a program, like I said, that I call Energy Up, that targets those 4 pillars of health. And we saw such massive changes in not only them physically with their strength and endurance, but balance and stability, but their mental attitude. Their mind was sharper, their energy levels were higher. We could relieve stress and anxiety and drop them into the rest and restore nervous system, which allowed them to live a more peaceful, joyful life. So I became very passionate about it and just wanted to spread the word.
And I guess given you've been in space for quite a while, like when you look back over your career, what's been a win or a moment that you've just gone, wow, I'm so proud of that?
Oh gosh, that's going to make me tear up. I think it is, especially when I started working, we launched the Dementia and Parkinson's programs as a beta test last year with a large healthcare organization. And we really created a community space for those people to come in and have a group of their own. But not only that, to watch the changes that happened in their lives during that short period of time. We launched, well, almost a year ago in some locations, and about just some in December, the one big Parkinson's group I have in December. But to see them coming back time and again and watching the changes that happen, and people saying, I had a story that happened not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. We had a man that came into our dementia class, and he had just gotten out of the hospital, used a walker to come in, and could barely track.
Oh, no.
And so within our programs, we do a lot of patterns and
Bless you,
progressions
Vickie.
because we feel like that's what really helps the brain to re-engage, build new neural pathways. But he could barely track. And over a 6-month period, he could do pretty much anything we put in there. But a couple of things we always do at class is we raise our hands up, we shake them, and we smile, and we bust out laughing, because it puts us into that rest and restore nervous system. And we clap a lot because it does the same thing. We relieve stress and anxiety. Well, this man fell down, ended up in the hospital, and his wife called me and said, I just got to tell you something really interesting that happened. My daughter was with my husband, and he was in a semi-conscious state. And I got there, and she goes, Mom, he kept laughing and clapping. And she goes, I have no idea what he was laughing about. So she sat there and watched him. And sure enough, he would rub his hands together, he would shake his hands, and he'd go, ha, 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 ha. And then he would clap. And in his subconscious state, he knew that that would help him. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that's such an incredible testimony of the work that we do, because often we can see the results, but when you see something happen like that, it's like, if we can make a difference like that in people's lives, it's like, that's what it's all about. So
It
I
gives,
think for me,
yeah, that gives me goosebumps because, I
Yeah.
get even like after working with seniors, you know, what would you advise the younger generation that they might be missing? And what has it taught you?
oh my gosh. Oh, what might they be missing? Just being with a group of people that sometimes, especially if you're dealing with Parkinson's or dementia, they're kind of isolated and put on the back shelf. Nobody really understands it. They're just people, and they need their own community, and they want to laugh and have fun. And they have such rich lives and so many life experiences to share with others. And it's just go be with them, share your joy with them, let them share who they are with you, and just treat them like the wonderful person that they are. I mean, we go into class, we laugh and we joke and we tell stories and we just have a good time. I have a little man and his wife that come in, she's a caregiver, he's Parkinson's, and he can't see very well, sits right in front of me so he can see me, and he's a hoot. But and he's in his 90s, and they came in late yesterday, and he's sitting right in front of me, and she walks by and he puts his hand out like this. And she goes, don't you do that. And I said, what was he going to do? She goes, he's going to slap my butt. And I said, go ahead, Bob. And so he gives her a slap on the butt, and everyone is laughing. We're going, get a room. And it's just like, it's not just about let's go move our body and be really hardcore. No, it's like target the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the energetic pillars, because we just live in a body. And if we are not expanding and unleashing those other 4 pillars, we're missing the mark. And to realize that it's so much more than let's just go work out. It's a community, it's socialization, it's giving, no matter who you are, I don't care if you're 20 years old or 50 years old, you go to a fitness class or you get involved in community because you need that support, you need that encouragement, you need to be able to let it go if you're having a bad day or whatever it might be. So, and I think, especially for the older people, to be able to have that space and that freedom to go in and just be who they are Or especially like Parkinson's, if they're having a bad day, I'll tell them, I don't care what you do, but get rid of everything that's too heavy for you to carry back out of this room. Kick and scream, lay down on the floor, it doesn't matter. But I don't want you holding that on the inside. So I think that when we're young, we're all about the push and the shove and the go, get it, and getting strong. And we forget, my generation, especially when we grew up, we didn't really pay attention to those other parts of ourselves. It wasn't really okay to express our emotions, so we stuffed everything inside. It was like, just look pretty on the outside and you'll be fine. And I think it's a little bit different nowadays. There's more awareness about our emotions and our mental attitude and our mental health than we had growing up. But to realize it's not all about the push and the shove. It's also about stopping and taking that laugh or putting our arm around somebody. And yeah.
I think that's great advice. Like, the push and the shove is so hustle, hustle, busy, busy. So, yeah, I think that is very great advice.
It's so easy to get caught in that loop. I mean, I'm a push and shove all the way, and I constantly have to pull myself back and say, take a beat, take a minute. It's okay. You got 30 seconds. You can just, chill out, whatever it is. But to realize that that's what decorates or colors our lives, and makes them so much richer.
What do you think? What are some of the challenges that you've had building this community over the years that you could maybe share some advice to the audience or,
Oh, yeah. Well, when I started this company, I just knew I had been in the health and fitness profession, was married, and my husband passed away from a heart attack at the age of 56 in 2001, and we had 6 children aged 3 to 18. In the middle of building our own home, and that experience was kind of the missing piece, because I could give people all the right moves to make, all the right foods to eat, but unless we're okay and healed on the inside, right, we're not really okay. So going through his death and the healing from that grief, I came out of that going, I'm just supposed to help people be happy and healthy. And I didn't have no idea what that looked like. I was just like, I'm just going to go tell people how they can get happy and healthy. I'll give them my hand and help them be okay. And I really had no idea. I just thought, well, I'm just going to start this little company. And I also was working as a health coach for a corporate health insurance company. And so I started a little website. I don't think anybody ever looked at it, but I would write articles and I put stuff up on there, and it kind of just kept morphing and growing. And I was not a business person. I had been a homeschool, raising 6 kids mom, and been into health and nutrition. And all of a sudden I've got this business, and it started growing, and it was like, oh, this is interesting. And then in the last couple of years, we went from 6 instructors to almost 50 instructors, and went from, 10 classes a week to running 40 classes a week across 2 states, all over Arizona, New Mexico, virtually. So I had to kind of grow up with the business. So as it became what I say a real business, like all of a sudden somebody said one day, how many employees do instructors you have? I said, well, let me see. At that point, I said, I have about 35. And I went, oh, holy shit, it's a real business. Yeah. But we had to grow with it with bare bones. I mean, we never, it grew organically from the very start. And like I said, I didn't go in with the goal of saying, well, let me see in 5 years. And so for me, it's been a real growing, learning experience. But I think one thing that's been evident to me is that I have just flowed with where it's taken me. So I think when we get locked into, well, I'm going to do this and this is how it has to be, and then we keep butting heads or hitting against that wall and it's not working, it's like, okay, step back.
Yeah.
Good idea, maybe not the right time, maybe it needs to go this way instead of through that door, but to be able to flow where that energy takes you and be able to shift when one thing closes, then you're going to have to revamp and go another direction. We've had some of that happen this last year. And it's like, okay, step back and go, okay, so this door just closed, huge door. Now what are we going to do? What do I really want to do, and where do I really want to take the business? And then just sit with whatever that is Just sit with yourself, go deep down inside and say, how does this feel? How does this feel? Does it stress you out when you think about it? Or do you go, yes? Um, and then go, I'm open to possibilities, and then just keep your eyes open, and pretty soon things are going to come in that are going to lead you in that right direction. So, for instance, I do a lot of travel, and I'm really passionate about women's transformation. So, I wanted to launch this wellness retreat for this year. And I also really wanted to expand the Parkinson's and dementia program. And I felt like I had a lot on my plate, but I could get in there and do it, right? Well, I had planned the dates for the retreat in January. I didn't get any signups, so I canceled it and I moved it to April. And over the past couple of weeks, I'm just not getting the response that I wanted. And I started feeling really stressed about it. And I thought, I think I need to let go of this. And as soon as I did, it was like the energy just started flowing again because I was hitting that door. I wasn't allowing things to flow where they needed to. And now all of these opportunities for the Parkinson's and dementia just started flowing in to grow that. And so it's like, okay, so we're going to go with this now.
Yeah.
So I think don't get locked in. Do not get locked into what you think you need to do.
Yeah.
With the energy.
I love that because this is not what a business school or a textbook would teach you. It's like, especially the intuitive way of doing business.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
And if you're not passionate about it, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Right? Life is too short to do something that you hate. I'm going to go to a 9-to-5 job. I don't like it, but it's like, maybe we need to re-examine that as well.
Yeah. So right now, I mean, if you had a magic wand to fix anything in your business, what would that be? What's the one thing that might be holding you back from where you want to go next? And where is that next right now?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'm in the process of hiring a virtual assistant. So we've always been grassroots. When we started the company, it was just me. And then I started hiring instructors. During COVID, my daughter came on as my business partner and built up the tech end of things. And we would film every class. We worked out in my dining room. She lived overseas, still does, and my son lived with me. So we would set the camera up, fix the dining room. It was our studio, film the classes. He would edit them, and then he would do the marketing. And we always joked about who gets the extra $13 at the end of the month. Because I'm talking, we ran on, it wasn't until the last couple of years we actually started making a profit. But because of that, we still operate like bare bones. So I wear about 22 hats. And it's getting to the point where I can't, if I want to grow and I want to take this business to the next level and reach more people and just watch what happens in their lives. But in order to do that, I have to give other people some hats. So yeah, I have a wonderful bookkeeper. I have a lady that does my emails and posts my Facebook events, and I have a manager that runs the instructors and the scheduling, which is fabulous. But I am going to hire a virtual assistant to take some of the pick up some of the marketing pieces and some of those other pieces. So I think it's know your limits and know when it's time. If you want to make changes, what do you have to do to make that happen?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. So I would like to see us experientially grow internationally and get this program out to help as many people as we absolutely can, and to watch what happens.
Yeah, I think it's amazing, especially your retreat side of things, because a lot of people are widowed, and just to have some company to go on these, I really, I think that would be a very successful art. Is there anything else you want to share about your business, or if anyone's listening that wants to hire your services or integrate it into, like, who would your audience be?
Who would our audience be? Our audience would be, honestly, anybody that's interested in brain health. My personal experience in using the Energy Up program is, if we started this when we were young, we would not have nearly the many issues health-wise that we do have nowadays. It's a pretty powerful system. It literally brought me back to life after I had complications from stage 2 rectal cancer in 22. The radiation perforated my colon, or I went septic, and was given about 2 hours to live. And when I woke up, I lived in a body I did not recognize. I had tubes hanging out on one side and ostomy on the other, a huge incision, and I weighed 89 pounds. And I walked away and just went, what happened? And it literally brought me back to life within a couple of weeks. I could just feel everything change because it does work on those 4 pillars of health. So we have free classes right now up. All of the class links are on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel where we offer some of our classes, and all the pre-recorded classes. We work with senior living communities, community centers, individuals aging at home. It's like anybody and everybody, but our focus is really on seniors and women. But men, you are welcome. We have a lot of men in our classes as well. But just to, revive the quality of life in people and give a little spark back and help people to figure out, what fires me up? What am I passionate about? How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And, giving them a helping hand and say, come on, let's just do this. Let's laugh and play and have fun along the way.
Yeah. That's amazing advice. And I love that. Put a bit of a spark back in, because it's never too late. That's what I'm learning now. It's never too late.
It is never too late.
And even what you said, I'm only a few years off 50, but it's so interesting when you said, oh, I'm actually over 50. Yeah, you feel exactly the same. And
Yeah,
it's just
you
your
do, right?
older body that sometimes you don't recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, we'll make sure we put the YouTube link, the Facebook link, everything into the show notes. If you want more information, hit up Vickie at alivefitandfree.com. And yeah,
Yep.
some wisdom and gems in here to look after your health and just start. So thank you so much.
And thank you for having me, and good luck on the podcast and the launch. And I'm super excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.